Hello and welcome back to the Gold Advantage, our first episode covering Worlds. It is here. Bittersweet. I'm kind of excited to have our first international tournament, but at the same time, it's the beginning of the end of the 2022 season. So in a few weeks' time, no more league for like 2 or 3 months, and that sucks. But, that's a problem for another day. I'm excited to be here with Scoot and BMB. We're covering play-ins today. How are you guys doing?
Should have ended the sentence there. I'm excited to be here with Scoot. So, I'm kidding. I'm excited to be here with you, Chris. I love you, as always. How are we feeling? I'm pumped to get into Worlds. Hopefully be there in SF when the time comes. But, for now we've got play-ins. Those are starting. I think we've got some interesting teams in here. I'm not really bullish on any of these teams being extremely impactful when it comes to actual Worlds, but it'll be fun for the time being. We've got something to look at.
I disagree with that because I think RNG is
RNG is the one. Yeah, they're the one standout. But the rest of
the rest of these one of the probably the worst year for playing teams. I think this is actually if you're not in a major region, this is the year that I'm looking at the smaller regions, like the tier 2 ones, and I'm like, I think it's gonna be rough for you to get out of groups, and I think it's gonna be rough for you to even potentially make it to quarterfinals. Whereas other years, it's like you could see it maybe happen.
Well, I think the groups that are already laid out are pretty stacked. So now you have this problem of we've got to do play-ins and then try to get out of groups. And I guess you're warmed up to an extent, but not really ready to play the big dogs. I don't think. That's my issue.
I kind of disagree with both of you. I think coming out of this, we went through last week all of the different permutations. Incredibly bullish on RNG. I think that you could see, a Mad Lions maybe, although I'm a little less bullish on them, especially if you start seeing. Yeah, right. Okay, so the tier 1 regions. I don't know. It always feels like the detonation focused me's of Japan, the Istanbul Wildcats. Very bullish on Istanbul Wildcats. I love me some Wildcats. But yeah, look, this is going to be. At what point, Nikki? I guess in that vein. At what point do we ever get to a scenario where the major regions aren't just the prohibitive favorites?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think the major regions are always the favorites, but when I look at this year and I'm like, you got 4 spots and you got Fnatic, EG, Mad Lions, DRX, RNG. I'm like, that's rough. Especially when RNG is one of the tier 2 favorites. Right after the top tier favorites, you have RNG, and I'm like, that's already. Yeah. So you're pretty much guaranteed that's not going to happen. DRX, the fact that there is, and I think you brought this up last week, and that's probably why I've been thinking about it. The format, the fact that they're getting 4 spots, and that DRX is there, makes it really rough on the other regions.
Totally.
Which I hadn't considered last week, but it's shit, actually. And I don't actually give a shit about DRX. I don't think they're good enough to win. But they are totally taking a spot from one of the smaller regions, which could be their moment of glory of getting out of groups.
I think the whole play-in could just be way more interesting, and it's not. That's kind of the fundamental issue here. It feels like it's already fairly decided. You're going to get 4 of 6, maybe 5 even teams. So, what is the point in realistically watching? But at the same time, somebody could come out of nowhere. That's what this is all about, I guess. End of the day.
Great point. And that's gonna be my question. Is outside of the LPL, LCK, LEC, which minor region team do you guys think has the potential to be a dark horse? And I think for me, it's EG. I think they're the best minor region. That has a potential to break into some real League of Legends.
I find that just so offensive, and you're trying to put me on tilt right now.
Look at him. He's picking up gamer terms. Guy plays Wild Rift for a week, and he's talking about being
Gets
on
the
tilt.
platform.
Fuck.
BMB, platform. Round of applause.
I think, legitimate minor regions. I think, Saigon Buffalo hasn't been bad this year.
Not NA.
What?
Honestly, at this point,
Nearest
the LEC...
airport.
Careful, Nikki. The LEC is.
I know the LEC.
The LEC is
not a
they do
fun
not look good
region
this
to be
year.
enjoying.
And not to mention, G2 encountering further problems. So I'm sure we'll cover that when it comes to actual worlds. But you can't make bad decisions and then double down on them. And I think some people learn their lessons about that. And it's unfortunate for the whole scene, but whatever.
Agreed.
Now, I said Detonation focused me. I think the experience that they've had prior will carry over to a decent amount as an organization. But I do think there is this question mark of Chiefs, and is them being undefeated again, like them just being that much better than the rest of their region, or are they just in a bad region?
Well,
that
the
they
Chiefs
outplayed
are
them.
smashing other teams in scrims.
Okay, but that's
rumors
never good.
That's
never good.
Is that NA is getting dismantled by Oceania?
That's never.
Is that right?
That's never good.
Yeah,
though.
apparently
because you
apparently,
know exactly what
the
happens
Chiefs,
right after all
I know,
those rumors
that's
come out.
But apparently, yes, the Chiefs are playing out of their mind and completely dismantling other teams.
Dude, I hope they're that good. I really do. It would be
good.
really
I
fun
agree.
to
It would be.
watch.
Honestly,
America
America
to have a
pilfered
minor
all their best
region.
players, stole all their best players, and yet they're still doing well. That would be good.
To have a minor region also not only come out of groups but even win worlds before North America or EU would be
man,
the
that would be-
funniest thing in the world.
That would be
Especially if it was Brazil.
So I think my shout out is probably going to be. I think I'm leaning towards Saigon Buffalo. I think Saigon Buffalo is a team to me that it looks like the best. GAM is the next one. And then those that region. If we're gonna do it by region, and then I think Taiwan Beyond Gaming.
We were on the Saigon Buffalo back at MSI, right? This is a team that they showed up to MSI playing well. Obviously, they didn't have the best of showings, but I think didn't they make it out?
They were actually not supposed to be at MSI. That's the crazy part.
Yeah,
They
but
were the second best team in their region.
But this is a team that's kind of played well all year, and so I love seeing teams that kind of show up both back to back after MSI and then Worlds, right? That to me is something I look for. Detonation focused me. At this point, it feels like we've been doing this podcast for the past 2 and some change, and every single international match, you have Detonation focus me. They really underperformed this year at MSI, so I don't have too many expectations for them. Nikki, going back to the very first time, we do have some sneaky love for the PCS, so I would love to see some Beyond Gaming magic. I do think it's going to have to be a team that's coming out of Group A. As much as I love saying the Saigon Buffalo or anybody, but a team that's going to be kind of surprising maybe is going to have to come from Group A with no clear favorites there.
Yeah.
With you being in Oceania, maybe you've had a chance to do some journalistic investigation into the Chiefs Esports Club, but
they've always been good. There's always been it's the Chiefs and there's another team here that's just been dominating for a long time. The problem is that I just don't think they don't have enough international experience. Now that they do have it, I think there is a much better chance. But unfortunately, it's hard, and especially with them dominating scrims. To me, I'm oh no, this is a recipe for disaster because it always backfires. I actually think Istanbul Wildcats are weaker than in previous years. I think they've lost a lot of their good players. I think the PCS has also Flying Oysters and Beyond Gaming. I would actually put them below the VCS this year. I think a lot of Maple and those guys have left the region, and they were always the number one team and so far ahead of everyone else. And now we've got two teams without those star players. I think it actually dilutes it a little bit. Whereas I think GAM and Buffaloes are sitting in a decent spot, and I think they can punch up a little bit. So I actually wouldn't be surprised if we end up having one of those two, make it out. Oh, sorry, one, because already GAM. I think GAM is out, aren't they? Yeah.
Isn't?
Yeah. So
if I'm not wrong here, I'm pretty sure the Flying Oysters name is an intentional mistranslation of something in Chinese.
No, Flying Oysters is isn't it I said they're a baseball team.
it's something weird that has to do with like the Chinese language. I need to look it up after this podcast, so I'll probably post it in Discord. But like, it makes me like them a whole lot more, and it's also hilarious.
It's a
like,
great name.
It means something like family or something like that, and it's intentionally mistranslated. I don't remember why or like what the reason is, but I mean,
follow us on Twitter at Best of 3 Network, or join our Discord, which you'll find a pinned tweet either in the bottom of this video or on Twitter at Best of 3 Network to find out the answer to that. Scoot will be sharing it.
Discord is just me rage posting all day,
like all day, every day.
Like,
but at least you got your capture the flag.
I did get my CTF. That's actually a big development for me and my mental health. So
yeah,
that is big. It is,
but it's not guaranteed yet. Let's be clear. So
we have two kind of like updates here. Quick one is EG. EG has confirmed that they're playing with Chovy, with not Danny, at least at the beginning. We're not sure if it's going to be for all of Worlds or just the start. I think this weakens them. I don't think you could argue it doesn't. But I also don't think it's as bad as people are making it out. Like, they still played pretty well with the Danny that was struggling, and I think that Keria he was great at Lucian Nami, but obviously they will have worked on whatever weakness and integrating him over the last couple of weeks, so I think that's a good thing. And the meta is also not heavily bot focused. It's much more mid, top, and jungle. Inspired, Impact playing out of their minds. JoJo's playing better than ever. So I'm actually like, hey, you know what? This is... I think if it was a heavy bot lane, I think that'd be concerning. But in this instance, I think it's all right.
For some reason, I don't... my takeaway, and I don't want to hate on EG or anything, but I feel like for some reason the international performance is just never going to be there. And I don't know why. Like, it feels like they're going to be really good in North America, and it's going to kind of stay that way for like a long time. But I just don't know if they break through here. And like, I agree with you. Like, I think everything's working in their favor as it stands right now, even with the substitute. But like, for some reason, I feel like they're going to choke this. And that might just be me being North American and also understanding that our presence at Worlds is never really felt to the extent that it sometimes should be. Sure. But I don't know. I don't have a lot of trust in it.
I have news for you, Scoot. I think, one, such good experience for them being at MSI, getting that first taste of international competition.
They got swallowed by G2 like 8 straight times.
Yeah. After that,
you need that. You need that.
JoJo became such a better player for the team.
So much better.
Like, he was one of the most improved, I think.
And then do not sleep on the fact that this tournament play-ins is in Mexico, which is eerily close to North America. And then they all know that should they have a chance to make it into group stage, they get to hang out with me here in New York City. I'm going to take them out to dinner. And that means a lot to some people. Oh, no.
Is it groups, too?
Groups.
Groups is in New York?
Yep. 3 weekends in a row, all here in New York.
Sick.
Interesting.
That would be, I think that is, without a doubt, a massive motivator to hang out with the big money blivs. He'll be paying for all
I would lose on purpose, but...
Well,
so you had more time to spend with him, so you wouldn't have to practice.
Right.
Yeah, there we go.
For more food.
You're right. That's what I meant.
The other big news, which I'm sure everyone's aware of, is Fnatic's bot lane has COVID. Hylissang and Upset out with COVID to the point where they're not even able to travel to Mexico. And they haven't been able to scrim. So it came out about a week ago that they're like, yeah, we're not scrimming. And everyone was like, what the fuck? And then they're like, yeah, we want to, but yet. So 2 of them are out. They're playing with 2 subs in the bot lane. They haven't been scrimming. One of their subs there was on holiday and is joining as a result. Like, I think he broke his holiday short or whatever. Anyway, so my Fnatic stock is crashing really hard.
Mine already crashed because after they lose games, they fall apart for an extended period of time. So
yeah. So
I didn't have a lot of faith in this anyway.
What do you do? I mean, like, I think at this point, super bummer for the group over there at Fnatic.
Yeah.
On the flip side, fucking fantastic for our boys EG. For that,
It is.
I think it's very good for EG.
Absolutely love that for us.
Slightly good for Mad Lions. Also, don't trust them though. So like,
No, I definitely
not a lot of love for Europe this year.
I don't know how I feel. I'm still like could
Shit
Mad Lions
region,
pull it
easily
back?
upset or something.
Can Mad Lions pull it back? You know, they only had one split with Niski. Ahmed is playing like a dead fish. Maybe.
Oh no, a
there's
dead
chance.
fish.
I think
better league.
I think I put. You know, it's like obviously Rogue G2 and then Mad Lions, I would say, and I think I do still put Mad Lions above the VCS, which is above the PCS. So
Yeah.
I think Mad Lions gets out of group. I think we have like Mad Lions, maybe EG, with the PCS as the most likely to upset.
I think there's a real chance that we could get two minor regions coming out of this. Honestly, like I wouldn't be surprised with like a DFM and a Chiefs or like a DFM and a Saigon that make it tricky, or like a DFM Beyond, something like that. DFM just will scam their way into this somehow.
You feel DFM is just strong on DFM.
I don't know why. They always end up in the fucking group stage somehow,
They do.
and then they just like don't. They look so underwhelming, but like they got there.
They got that.
So
well, that's the thing. It's like they can punch down. They just can't punch up.
So
punch up in a best of
serious.
one though. Anybody can, right?
Yeah.
Like
Dead serious.
Dead serious. First match of the entire play-ins, you have Isurus.
Yeah.
Isurus.
you want to
based-
talk about being in Mexico. This is
I do want to talk about being in
Yeah.
Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. I knew.
That's-
Listen, there's some waves going on here.
Why, what's happening? Why you think it's serious is gonna beat?
Home field advantage, baby.
That's right.
the fuck do you
This is for the first match, this is like they might not win another game, but it's like the perfect example of this is the World Cup. Every 4 years, the very first match is always the home team, and they'll be playing some other team that they have no business doing well against, and they'll rise up and win. The biggest one I'm thinking of right now is South Africa was like playing a pretty decent team to start off the World Cup. They were like minus 10,000 underdogs because they were supposed to get smoked. Comes out and wins the game.
Okay.
All right.
So for a first game,
You got a loud. You're saying really loud arena. Maybe comms are not as clear in the headphones. Something like that.
I would never put forth accusations of foul play, but what if something just didn't work? What if the headsets weren't as clean on the away side versus the home side?
Clipping the wires, something like that. Maybe there's a little.
You never
man.
know. You never know.
Maybe there's a little Latam man under the table just cutting wires or something. If Riot knows what's good for them, there's so much at play this year that would make this tournament.
Man. That's
Yeah.
All right. Well,
is that wrong?
I don't really know if I want to. I can comment on little Latam man.
I didn't want to pick. I'm not gonna pick a country.
You
It's a
don't
whole
pick a
region.
country he's from. He's just from that subcontinent. That's like the most
He would
American thing
likely
you could
be
say.
from Mexico
Would he?
because it's in Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh, it was South Africa versus Mexico. They tied 1-1.
Wow.
It was just like.
Look at that.
But I'm
no
not going to
business.
get into the semantics of where the players are from because they have 2 players from Korea and then 3 players from Mexico, and then it's maybe it's a Korean Mexican man that really loves Isurus.
Maybe. In that situation, I guess then, taking the 5.46 odds on Isurus does make sense.
That's actually worth it on it.
So, all right, jumping in. We're going to cover 2 days of matches, first 2 days of matches, then we'll record another podcast to cover the next 2 days. On the first day, the odds are just heavily skewed towards the favorites. Mad Lions is a 1.158 against Isurus at a 5.46. Beyond is a 1.558 against 2.48 on Loud. So it's really skewed. I'm finding it very hard to justify taking any. I mean, the fact that Mad Lions is 1.15, that's insane. But taking a favorite here just doesn't seem to make sense. We've talked about this previously. 1 year it worked really well. I think it was 2020. 2021, not so good, this tactic, but looking for the upsets, because there will be upsets, I think it's 100% worth it. I don't love the upsets that are like a 2.4, but the Isurus 5.46 or the
100% hit that.
Like Mad Lions versus Istanbul Wildcats at a 4.05. I think that's huge. Those are the bets.
Mad Lions are severely overrated.
Mad Lions are
like
it's ridiculous that they're at a 1.15 and a 1.24. That I think is like way too generous. You know, the DFM versus Loud. DFM's at 1.52, 2.56. I'm like, Loud, I can see why you would maybe go for that bet. I don't know, what are your guys' thoughts? Is there anything here that's standing out? And this is excluding the last match of the day, which is the DRX versus RNG, which I think let's discuss that one because that's the only real match of the.
I mean, I would hammer upsets against Mad Lions. I don't think it's like Like I think this is not really that justified, and we're also not talking about like best of threes or anything. We're talking about best of ones, and like. You know, they were good during the regular season, the LEC, but at the same time, like, they kind of fell apart in playoffs to an extent. And I don't know, like...
They haven't won a best of 5.
Yeah, the best of 5s, like,
but
bet
this
against
isn't
them
best
for
of
sure.
5.
But, like,
But
these
this
are best
isn't
of
best of
ones,
5.
and I still think that, like, this can realistically go anywhere. Like, a lot of what I'm seeing is, like, these are all professional League of Legends players. Like, realistically, anything can fucking happen on the map in this best of 1. So, like, why are we at 5.4 right now with like, especially with the home, you add in home field a little bit. That arena is going to be ripping for the boys.
Also, especially when you're talking about the number 4 seed from a region against the number 1 or number 2 seed. Like so,
in a region that all in all did not look crazy strong this year.
No.
So
no, this is
agreed.
Look, I still think Mad Lions is probably going to get out of groups, but do they have the potential to drop a match or two? I think 100%.
But I think you get this before those odds, before they win one, and then or before they lose one, and the odds drop down, right? Like, I think you bucket this just down the line. You're taking everything, like you bring it to Papa, right? Like, give me the opposing Mad Lions odds.
So I don't have the same belief though with DFM and with Loud. Loud is playing against Beyond and DFM, and I think those two teams in two regions are in the when I'm looking at that bottom tier, I think I put them higher up.
I want to throw something interesting
Loud
out there, though.
over Beyond?
No. I like Beyond over Loud.
I don't hate the favorites in those games, and I'm
completely
agree with you. Like,
I think the odds on Loud at 2.46 are not really enough to justify me taking that.
I will throw out there. There's just something interesting about Loud is that they did just win Valorant Champions. So, our Riot bought in on this story, and Brazil does have like a very large fan base. So if there's a scriptwriter out there,
but Brazil's usually very uniquely good at FPS.
So they might have their own little Latam
very close. Yeah,
they might have their own little Latam.
No, it'd be a Brazilian man. Those regions are separated.
Yeah, that's called South America.
Now we have the issue. Now you've created it. See, I
do like Mad Lions a bit. Look, I think that while you're able to now have Mad Lions having their game go through their Armut, I think that's the rock solid. Eloya and Niski, like those are the 3 players.
Armut played terribly.
Armut's been pooing his pants.
But Armut is battle tested in international play. This is a guy that I absolutely trust. And
really?
I
he
very
played
much
so bad during summer and spring.
I very much believe he needs to be dropped.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to drop
You're calling
him.
for his head?
Yeah, absolutely. If I'm looking at Mad Lions, I keep Niski, I keep Elyoya, I cut Armut straight up.
That's just so bold.
You replace him with Chris, right? He just came off the top lane Wild Rift game, so.
Looking at the other matches, Saigon Buffalo, Istanbul Wildcats. What's your guys' thoughts on that one? 3 points. So Saigon Buffalo 1.39, Wildcats are 3.04. Do you guys think that is that enough to tempt you?
No, probably not. I mean, I'm going to take your advice here. I haven't watched enough of the Turkish league or anything like that. So if you do believe they've gotten weaker, I think you have a better feel for the game than I do. So I'm going to kind of agree with that, especially because I think Saigon Buffalo realistically is not that bad and honestly has a decent shot of getting out here. So
yeah,
they just got to punch below the, like they have to beat up the little guys.
You just have to execute.
So,
yeah,
you just got to beat up the little guys.
Yeah. But it's like I think Istanbul Wildcats will like beat the Chiefs, so that's where they're going to get their wins rather than really punching up. My only caveat there is what I said at the beginning is that when you have egregious odds like 5.46 or 4.05, go for that. That's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, and you see it enough, right? Like you see the upsets take place. Like these are regions that never play each other. They're best of ones.
Yeah,
and so. I mean, like, a part of me does want to take Isurus against Mad Lions. That's kind of like the one I really do want to take.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's got
I think that's a great.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like the odds there are so skewed that I'm like, it's worth a taste for the potential upset. All right, the big match of the day: DRX RNG. DRX is sitting at a 2.67, RNG at 1.48. So RNG, big time favorites. They're the big time favorites, I think, across the whole tournament.
Well, across all the play-ins.
No, they're one of the favorites to win. They're like third or fourth.
I think they're like third or fourth.
Yeah. So, I don't think DRX is that good.
No,
so, like that's my
like a ton of DRX slander over the last couple of episodes. Like Kingen is pretty good.
They're just but they're not that good.
Right.
I think the LPL is stronger. I think and we saw RNG. Can I remind you, RNG won MSI.
Yeah, but then they made a fucking roster change. This is the weakest. And now they're the fourth team in China.
This is the weakest team in China. Beat everyone else at MSI. They beat everyone else.
They weren't the weakest team in China at the time.
No, but they're the fourth worst team now.
Oh, were they second best in China at the time? I think because somebody couldn't go.
Well, they got
FPX
to
maybe.
Maybe that was it. Yeah, but anyway, I still see them beating DRX, so I don't have an.
They made a roster change. This is not the same team that was at MSI. Okay. Let's be clear. I think they are they are maybe as good as that team, but they did come out as the fourth team from China. So like clearly. That's not even that true. I think they would have had a better placing, and they probably would have, not had to worry about this situation. Now, do I think they're better than DRX? Yeah, but there is some Worlds experience on the table here. You've got BeryL coming in at support, a little vocal leader situation.
Yeah, but just for the record, DRX coming in also in fourth in Korea, like. Fourth in Korea is not the same as fourth in China, where there are twice as many
Gen.G
teams.
and T1?
Yes. Totally. I'm not questioning Gen.G T1, but like Damwon this year is not the same Damwon team of when I picked them to win Worlds, and they did win Worlds.
Yes.
I think, what do we want to get into the
by the way, great way to slip that in. Really, real
nice
way you slip that one in. Real subtle.
Listen, every time you say Damwon, it doesn't have to be like Damwon, which in
2020, I actually predicted them to win Worlds. I don't know if you guys...
You got one right, and has he been right since?
And so my point is, I still think RNG, like this is a team that is unquestionably, like, Edward Gaming, not as big of a believer. I think top esports, JD, Gen.G, T1 are the top four, but RNG are right there.
Yeah.
I think
DRX not there.
This for me, I don't think DRX is better than RNG, but this feels like one of those situations where people are like, "Oh, China is so much better than Korea," and it's just like,
I don't think they're so much better than Korea. I think Gen.G is up there competing with them. I actually think Damwon has a chance to. They could pop up. I think they're a bit being overlooked. I think obviously T1 is not.
They sort their draft out.
They're not in the top 3, but they're in the next 3 without a doubt. So I'm there with you. I just think DRX is the odd man out for me, big time. Yeah. Is like I think the other 2 Korean teams 100% can compete with China, and I actually am kind of quietly bullish on Damwon. But look, you're the oracle. You're the fucking Oracle. So are you
I'm
saying...
not the Oracle. I'm
You're
not
the
I'm
Oracle.
not- I'm
Don't
no
be
Oracle.
humble now. Don't be humble now.
I don't really have a feel. I don't really have a feel for this
Do
match.
you think
to be
DRX
honest.
is
I'm
gonna
just
win?
saying that like.
Do you think DRX is
No.
going to win?
I'm saying
also-
because I don't have a feel for it, and I feel like it is more 50-50 than the line is showing, that like the 2.6 is not realistically that bad. Like,
Okay.
it's not out of grasp for them to beat RNG. So
I'm with
I
you on
think
that.
it
I
is
like
like a
that.
decent bet on DRX.
I like that.
That's my takeaway.
Okay. It's a good takeaway.
By the way,
Yeah.
Day 2, EG versus Loud. Kicks it off. 1.239 on EG, 4.15 on Loud. I actually think EG is, whereas Mad Lions I think kind of fell apart again during playoffs. I think EG held it together enough. So I'm not taking this upset.
Ban Lucian, ban Nami, free win. You're not taking that?
No.
I will say, Nikki, I think you were talking about this earlier, but like the CB lull it should not be overlooked, and so I think Loud has a decent chance on this one, but yeah,
Okay.
I'm looking over here at some of our friends over at Factor.gg. They actually have this really cool like win probability metric on their stuff. I don't know how much I believe it, but right now, Loud and EG is a straight up like 50.5% win probability for EG, 49.5% for Loud.
Well, that's
So
screams.
based on that, then a 4.15 is a phenomenal.
It's a heinous prediction. Yeah, it's
It's
a phenomenal bet.
a shit ton of value.
Your expected
on
value
Loud.
is crazy.
Correct. So
Okay.
again, I don't know how much I'm going to trust Factor.gg's win probability metric and what that's fully based on, but the fact that they have all these worlds matches up and win probabilities,
a
I
nice
think you
little
can
thing.
see some massively skewed win probability and expected value based on that.
Sure.
Like for 50-50, for you to get 4-1 odds, like that's amazing.
Yeah, no,
Take
for
it.
sure. I think that is
For a best
that
of
is
one,
incredible.
take it.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. Saigon Buffaloes Isurus. Saigon Buffaloes. I don't really have much to say there. I just think it's a much stronger region. So, do you guys have anything to
It's
add?
another
or-
case of the Latam, man. You
Latam
gotta trust
man
it.
coming.
I mean,
in.
you have to just keep hitting it, because like,
I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm gonna hit Mexico, the Latam man, for every single like they're gonna win one.
They're
and when they
dangerous.
win, and
They're
when they
Yeah,
win,
but
it's gonna
I
be
don't
electric.
think 3 is necessarily generous enough. 4, I take.
three's not your
without
number.
doubt.
It's not your
3's
sleep
not my
number.
number. No.
So
Listen, I mean, I'm
this will
telling
be the
you,
last.
they've got.
This will be the last time that I bring up this Factor.gg win probability, but they have Isurus favored at 56.4% over Saigon at
Because they're in Mexico
43.6%.
City.
Okay.
Telling you.
Well, look.
So-
Then 3.13. Great odds.
Great,
odds there.
great odds.
Great odds. DFM Chiefs. DFM's at 1.67, Chiefs at 2.23. And now this is like the most even matchup I think that we've gotten so far, where it's not horribly skewed. I like the DFM. I think 1.67 is a good line. Into it.
I know.
I think
You're-
I
you're,
kind of agree with you, but I also think this is a very, very good opportunity to actually understand where Chiefs stands. Like, and this is a very good first match for them to be playing
is.
as like a person that
Yeah.
needs to see them
Yeah,
play. Because I obviously don't
they-
watch
it,
a ton
like,
of Oceania. I
They're
don't have
either
that
the
much
worst
time.
world's team, or
Yeah.
if they win this, they're boosted suddenly as a contender for getting out of groups.
And it's like, oh shit, they're gonna get out of
Yeah.
groups, and then all the lines adjust, and you're like, I'm not believing that scam, and you just hammer against them, and
Yeah.
you make a shitload of money. So, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna take DFM for now. I have a lot of faith in them to get out with their experience, but I do think that this is a very important and also very interesting match to watch.
Okay.
I'm excited for this one, actually, legitimately. Like, I think this will be fun.
B&B thoughts?
I am-
or-
I am gonna take your Scrim God Chiefs all
Yeah.
the way to the bank.
never take
with,
that.
with 2.23.
All right.
Scrim
Well,
Never
Gods
buy
has never
Scrim
let me
Gods.
the
down.
counter oracle.
it's
Scrim
literally-
Gods has never let me
literally
down.
has always let me down every single time I've even thought about it.
Yeah,
That's why I don't
kinda
even look
agree with that.
anymore. I don't
I know.
care.
All right. Next
keep
one.
away.
Beyond versus EG. Now, I actually fucking love this match because Beyond's at a 3.21. EG's at 1.357. I love the line on Beyond. I
agree with you.
think EG and I think Beyond is good enough to punch up. I think EG is
Yeah.
the better team, but Beyond is good enough. And There might still be some rust for EG. It's the first time they're playing against. Is this their first match? No, second match.
I mean,
So
this isn't a team that's just gonna fucking let EG walk over them.
Exactly.
And I think that's what's important here. So
Yep.
It's actually their. You said EG. It's their third match because they play Fnatic, but I don't think they have a lineup for the Fnatic match on
No.
Thursday
Yes.
because of the bottoms, the ADC support issue.
Yep.
So I think that they're not. I don't think that they're putting Fnatic's. I mean, I'm looking at the books. I don't think they have any Fnatic's line right now with all the uncertainty around them. So apologies to our beloved viewers who are watching us just for Fnatic's lines. Unfortunately, those are not up right now.
All right. DRX Saigon Buffalo. This is another one I think is great. So 1.215 on DRX and Saigon Buffalo at a 4.45. I'm beating the drum of the Saigon Buffalo. I think 4.45 is so fucking good. I reckon they're gonna plow that field.
I also don't hate it. Not gonna lie to you.
This is where. Sorry, the last time I bring up Factor.gg.
This is the last time. Have I talked to you guys about Damwon, the team that I predicted?
You would think that they were paying us. Saigon Buffalo are favored against DRX. 50.9% versus 49.1%.
That's
A small Factor.gg ad tattooed on Chris's forehead?
Yeah.
Is there...
I mean, if these win probability things play out, like, look, when it's 50-50, that means
You should
one
follow
time
it.
I kind of want to.
I mean, you should. It would be really interesting to see.
It would be interesting
Mad
over
Lions?
the first 2 days. So actually, this is your homework. You gotta record what their predictions are, and
Take a picture.
next podcast.
The hard part, right, is the hard part is just because they're wrong doesn't mean that they're like.
That it doesn't mean that they're wrong. Like just
If
because it
it's
doesn't
50-50,
Yeah.
right? If it's 50-50, guess what? That means, and especially in a best of one, that means one time they're going to win, and one time they're going to lose.
Yeah.
I think you gotta watch
it's
and
hard to-
understand how close it actually was.
Yes.
But that feels like.
But like right
Yeah,
now,
but we
you
don't
got
watch League of Legends. We just talk.
this
about
game.
No,
I mean,
why would we ever do that? What we need is AWS win probability. Compare the two, like while it's in game, and then understand kind of what the actual net probability over time was. Not to be statistical with you.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, I you know what? Like, well, I love the line. I think it's too generous on Saigon Buffalo. So I think that's value, and the fact that someone with a smarter brain than me has done maths and said that they are potentially better. I love that. So I'm with you on that one. RNG versus Mad Lions. That is not a match that I am going to.
I mean, RNG is going to step on them.
If anyone's like, statistically, Mad Lions is 70%, I was like, check your fucking math.
This is
Have you guys seen that? Have you guys seen that meme? I love this meme. It's the guy is like, I crunched and I did the math, but I forgot how bad I was at math.
This is one of those situations where like you have a chance to play another major region during a play-in and you're not gonna fuck around. Like this isn't a minor region slip up. Like we could lose this game. This is like we want to beat the shit out of EU.
There's like honor on the line.
Remind them who we are.
There's honor on the line. Like when you lose to one of the minor regions, you're like, oh, it's like when you lose to your little brother in a game. You're like, yeah, good job, you're getting better, it's all good. But then when NA kind of struts in and goes, we have $1 million fucking contracts, you're like, that's it. I'm putting you the fuck down. So
well, that's not going to happen this year, but NA's about to put everyone down.
Sure.
Welcome to the Cloud9 show, baby.
All right,
can't wait
last
to
match
be
of
there.
the day. DRX
I'll be in the room
Istanbul
where it
Wildcats.
happens.
DRX Istanbul Wildcats. DRX 1.12. Istanbul Wildcats 6.45. Now, Chris, tell
it
us
feels
about how this is the
absurd.
last time you bring up Factor.gg to tell us that.
Are you looking at it right now?
No, I'm
Are you
not.
looking
I
at
have
it?
no idea.
Let me remind you that there's a game that they're playing literally 2 games before this. So, like, if they look like shit, just hit it against them. Like, I mean, obviously the line's going to adjust a little bit, but I don't expect them to not be favorites here. Like,
75.7% win probability
So you're saying there's a chance?
for Istanbul Wildcats.
No fucking way. No
I
fucking way.
shit you not. Again, I'm not plugging anything. To your point, maybe the calculator's broken. This is 75% for Wildcats, 25% for DRX.
No way. Oh my god, you're actually not lying.
I'm not lying.
Okay,
Wow.
so I'm gonna be crazy here and
So if you-
disagree
so-
with those numbers. That's
So-
I don't know
apparently
why.
a hot
I
take
just-
right now.
I'm just reading numbers. So 6.45 is really tasty. Maybe they got it backwards. Maybe they just put the wrong logo there.
That's
I mean, I'd be shocked if anything else was happening.
I'm trying to
But
see
yeah,
who
sure.
else, if they have anything else. I mean, there's Isurus over Saigon Buffaloes, I think is there. That's a bit egregious.
I mean, this is
Everything else seems like, oh wow, they're really rating though Istanbul Wildcats. They have them at 75% win over Saigon Buffaloes too.
Yeah, no, they're rating them really well.
Yeah.
Why? No idea. I guess if you go into statistics, the teams, do your region to Turkey. Maybe. I mean, the problem is they're playing a bunch of Turkish teams, so maybe their stats look absolutely stunning against Turkish teams, whereas DRX's stats don't look as great against Korean teams, and so therefore, if you're just
maybe we're
looking on
just
pure
sleeping on the
statistics,
Cats.
maybe we're sleeping on the Cats.
Maybe we are. All
I
right.
mean, everybody slept on Yumi for long enough, and then it became the most annoying champion in pro play. So,
Yeah.
The cat.
That's it for me. I've got nothing else to add. Anything else for you guys?
do you
I mean,
not
I'm just-
want to add your thoughts on the anthem?
Not really.
To this
It's a bad
episode?
anthem. I don't think the video matches up to it. I actually think that's the bigger issue. I think the song isn't good, but people probably enjoy it. But when you watch the video, and I think the video is as important as the song, they don't match
I think the
up.
video is more important than
I
the
don't
song.
think the video's that hype. When you look at previous Worlds videos, some of them like the one where Faker's on the throne and everything, it's like shit.
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
cool.
It's sick. It's so sick.
Yeah, it's so sick.
Also, they do this thing every
This
year
year,
where they
okay.
tease Faker being in the video, and then they don't put him in the video just to bait people into watching it, which I think is super messed up. But no, listen, they gave their credit to Chovy this year. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I think the synergy between the song and the video is more important than either individual one. But I still think the video is more important.
Yep.
And it just didn't really sync. I don't hate the song. I think the song's fine on its own.
I don't hate
yeah,
it.
I agree with you. It goes up, and you're expecting it to really drop into some hard shit, and then it gets slower, and you're just this doesn't. I wouldn't want to walk out to this.
I will tell our fans, please do follow, subscribe, comment. We appreciate it. We've been
good
getting
one.
some
That was a
great
good one.
likes, some great support from everyone recently. So I know I said
Some
last
really
week,
insightful comments too that I actually very much enjoy reading. So,
very much so. Yeah,
Appreciate that.
It's been great. Really appreciate it, everyone. Please continue to support us. We need it. So not above begging. Please, please.
They literally
please
can't eat if
subscribe.
you don't hit like.
Exactly. We beat Scoot if you don't like and subscribe. So look at that, those cute puppy dog eyes. Please join our Discord. Look, this is the end of Worlds. Last bits of League of Legends that we're gonna have for 2022. Discord is great fun. We would love for you guys to come and join us, just for some of the banter and some insight and conversations. There are smarter people in the Discord if you like talking about data analytics and so on, who I'm sure would be very excited to talk to you about that. I think that's about it for us. We'll see you in a couple of days to cover the next 2 days of matches. And that's it for me. Thank you, everyone.
We have so much league to cover. It's
So
gonna be
much
awesome.
league. So much league.
That's good.
We'll be
How
we'll
fast
be
do you
OD
think
ODing
Bliven
on
will
league.
drop out and miss an episode?
How fast do I think he's gonna bail on Cloud9?
Yeah.
That's the real
Yeah.
question.
How fast
I think
do I
one
think he's
group's
gonna-
loss and he's done. I think
Yeah.
I think one group's loss and he's dude, they're not the team. it's
No,
not the
I
team,
reckon.
dude.
I reckon.
No,
it
I'll be
takes- I
following
reckon 3
Cloud9 all the
games.
way.
3 games. They'll lose one. They'll win one, and he'll be like, yeah. Then they'll lose one, and then that'll be it. That's it.
Yeah, and then they come back and go 3-0 out of the group. Bang.
And then he'll dodge.
just for the-
He'll dodge that
and the
episode
fire
for
starts.
sure. He'll dodge.
And
that
just for the record, I'll be dodging a
got
lot
dinner.
of episodes this week because I
course
have a
you will.
wedding this weekend.
Obviously.
if you're not getting married to me,
Hey,
why does
look,
it matter?
microphone and a phone. We can record with you.
Yeah, just bring the
go to the
wedding
bathroom.
to the league.
Yeah.
You know, bring the league to the wedding. No, ask the bride.
Get the, maybe this time you'll get more than 2 followers. You can get.
Hey. I actually
All
want
right,
to
everyone,
explain.
thank you for
Actually,
tuning
hold on,
in.
hold on. Before you
We will
outro,
see
before
you
you
all
outro, I
in
want to
2
explain.
days.
It was my first
No,
ever
no, no,
esports
no, no,
event,
no,
and
okay.
I was
Okay.
overwhelmed by being there, and I really enjoyed myself, and I really enjoyed everyone I met. So I love you guys.
Well,
Don't let him shit on you, 2 followers that you know who you are.
If Scott isn't too scared, maybe he'll join me for some more League.
I'll go to SF if possible. If things need to work
All
themselves
right,
out.
let's
on
cut
that
this
end,
episode.
so.
We said bye. Cut it.
All right, peace out.
Toodaloo.